Accessible Systems has been manufacturing the Bottoms Up Auto Rotisserie in the U.S. for 22 years. Our video today will show you many of the features and benefits of the two units that we're going to have on the demo today. And we'll also have some comparisons with some competitors' units, things you should look for when you're trying to decide which one you want to get. The video will be demoing our two most popular Bottoms Up Rotisseries. This is an example of our 1500 Pro. It's all made out of 3/16 wall tubing. It has the spring-loaded stop pin and a cog wheel that you see here to stop rotation, and it has the grease fittings as you see on the pivot pipe. This is our AT Plus series, which is made out of 8th wall tubing. That's the reason for the bigger holes in the upright, because you need a bigger bearing surface so that the tubing doesn't tear at the corners. This one does not have the spring-loaded stop wheel. It does not have the grease fittings, but it does have the same T-bar vertical clamp system that we use with the 4 nuts. And in terms of performance, it's very similar to another 8th wall tubing twirler made up in Indiana. And here is the direct from China copy of the Indiana twirler. Comes in powder coated black, and it's made in an ISO 2000 factory, they say, but that doesn't help the fact that the design's terrible. The coupling where the T-bar attaches is real loose. The arms that bolt to your car angle way down, so you're going to bend the body mount points on the front of your car, rear of your car, if you use this product on a body shell. Here's our 1500 series holding our 61 Ford pickup with a frame underneath it. As you can see, it has the grease fittings, has the spring-loaded stop wheel, has the 2 clamp plates, and the 4 tightening bolts, which make those into a vise to clamp this so that it doesn't move up and down when you don't want it to, but lets it slide infinitely when you do want to for balance. We drew a line just at the top of the top bolt there so you can see where we started with. We set this one up so it's intentionally a little bit low. We're going to show you how to balance this truck. It's currently bottom heavy. He can turn it, get it almost vertical, but when he lets go it wants to come back down to level. Now we've already loosened the 4 nuts that hold the clamp plate system, so that vertical piece of square tubing can slide between those 2 clamp plates when you adjust this threaded rod up and down, as Aaron will begin to do here. Now we're going to bring it up a little bit so it's a little closer to being balanced. You can see our black line that we'd marked it with is up about a ½ an inch from where it was before. So now Aaron's going to turn the truck, and if he lets go now, it'll almost stay there, but not quite. Still not quite balanced, so we're going to need to bring it up just a little bit more. Now we've got it up about an inch or so. We'll try it now, and we'll see if we got it centered correctly or not. Get to turn the car vertical, let go, stays there because it's balanced. Now that we've reached the center balance, we've tightened up the 4 bolts on our vise system here so that it's holding the vertical tubing piece snugly so it can't escape. And you can see from the black line that we're up about an inch. Several of the competitors use something similar to this, where they have a big bolt hole every 3 inches instead of our infinite slider. So you only have a 3-inch shot at getting your car balanced. Here's a later version of that same company's product. They've now moved the holes around to the side after I critiqued them being on the front and back, because that's where all the stress is. And so now they have them on the side of the unit instead of front to back. Now that the car is completely balanced and everything's been tightened up, you can turn it any way you want to, and it'll just stay wherever you leave it. And it turns easy, one hand kind of thing. Doesn't take two men, one of them turning it and the other one to tighten up the bolts once it gets in position, because it isn't adjusted properly and can't be adjusted properly because of 3-inch jumps. Now if you need rubber tires on your unit because you got to roll on gravel or grass, we have 2 options for you. We have an adapter which slides into the end of the axle assembly on the units. You can mount either a 12-inch air-filled tire there, and we actually make that caster ourselves, or we have a 10-inch version that's semi-pneumatic, doesn't have any air in it. It's a kind of a semi-hard rubber, which works fine if you don't have real soft gravel where you need to take it. And these quickly slip in and out, and you can convert it. These systems are made with the upright posts bolted to the axle assembly, so that when you're not using it, it comes apart and takes up very little storage space. Here's an example of how much wall space it'll take to store the system. 60 inches along the wall and 10 inches away from the wall. Here on the left is our 5-inch phenolic caster. You get brakes on all 4 corners of the rotisserie. These are rated at 900 pounds. On the right is one of our competitors' product. He only gives you about a 500-pound caster, and you don't get any brakes. Here's our axle piece. It's on the bottom, and our competitor's is on the top. His nose piece isn't nearly as long, and the problem with that is the attachment arms, which are normally 15 inches long, are out past the end of that, so that it makes it nose heavy. Here's the result when your attachment arms are out past the end of your nose wheel. See how the arms are angled way down here and the unit leans forward? It actually picked the wheels of the back axle up off the ground here on this unit, holding our 57 Chevy body and frame. Now you see these folks at car shows with their demo 700-pound Camaro or station wagon shell with real short stubby arms in the front, because they don't want you to see the deflection if you use the regular arms that come with your rotisserie. Here's an example of another competitor who makes his unit all out of 3/16 wall tubing, and he touts the benefits of his because he has plenty of gusseting. He uses triple pass welding in some places, and his unit is all 3/16 wall tubing. Well, his ends are 3/16 wall tubing, but his center connector bars are actually 8th wall tubing. And you have to buy an extra extension if your car is more than about 14 feet long, because the one that comes with the system isn't long enough to let you do your car. The problem, even though he builds his unit out of 3/16 wall tubing, he just uses smaller tubing than we do. The inner piece of pipe here, which cannot be gusseted because it's got to rotate, is only 1.9 OD versus our 3.5 OD inner piece of pipe that would go inside the one on the left there. Other things on his unit are also smaller, like the T-bar. Ours is 2.5-inch square on our 1500 AT, and his is only 2 inches. His attachment arms are only 12 inches long versus 15 inches for ours. So you need to decide if this is what you want holding your car, or this. So if you want a good quality rotisserie made in the USA with 22 years of manufacturing experience, give us a call at Accessible Systems. We'll be glad to help you out.